from this presentation. More so, Bida is going to share with you the certificates of attendance after this session, as long as you people fill in the attendance sheet. Without wasting a lot of time, my name is William Mafani, your facilitator for today. Are you seeing my slides very well?
Yeah.
Kindly put it on presentation mode.
Yeah.
William, I'm requesting to put the presentation on presentation mode.
Okay. I think it is. Yes. I think I have just. Is it not?
Okay, perfect. Now it's nice now.
It's fine, right?
Yeah, William, go on.
Okay. Our learning outcomes will be, by the end of this masterclass, you will be able to define steps related to project monitoring and evaluation, develop monitoring and evaluation plan tailored to a specific project requirements, apply appropriate data collection methods and tools for monitoring and evaluating activities, and then also utilize monitoring and evaluation findings to enhance project performances and impact. So MIL stands for monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning. We will look at simply monitoring is the regular collection and analysis of information for timely decision making to ensure accountability and provide the basis for evaluation and learning. In other words, monitoring is a continuous use of or a continuous collection of data to do what?
Unfortunately, the trainer has dropped. Looks like he's facing serious internet glitches there. And of course, if he was in Juba, it would be easy to assist. But he has internet options that he is possibly exploring. And we believe that he bounces back. And at this moment, I would request, yes, I see he's back. William, you're welcome back. Yeah, William, you're welcome back.
Okay. Are you guys seeing my slide?
Not real.
Are you guys seeing my slide?
It's not there, William.
It's loading. I think it's loading.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not seeing.
It's okay now.
It's okay.
Visible now.
Okay, thank you. In monitoring uses the systematic collection of data on specific indicators. And those indicators are used to inform the extent of a progress and achievement of results in the use of allocated funds. In other words, the indicators, like in a year, we could be having our targets. Okay, what indicates what we are trying to achieve? We have numbers of learners that we want to reach in a particular year. Then through this monitoring, we'll be able to know, like if we're targeting 1,000 learners to be reached with dignity kits or learners kits in a year. We monitor how many distributions we have done and how many learners out of these 1,000 have received the learners kits. If like we are targeting this 1,000 and we have reached October, November, we have so far distributed to 400 learners only. That tells us that we are not going to achieve our target of 1,000 in a year because we have reached October and we are left with 600 more learners out of 1,000 that we need to reach or distribute learners kits. But within these 10 months, we have reached 400. This one will tell us that we will not be able to achieve our target at the end of the year. So monitoring is very important. If we realize this earlier, before it reaches the middle of the year, we'll be able to make adjustment or see the best way we can achieve our target by the end of the year. Okay. Monitoring also involves giving feedback about the progress of the project to the donors, implementers, and beneficiaries of the project. The feedback enables the gathered information to be used in making decisions for improving project performances. As I said, like we can give feedback in form of reports to donors that with the money that they have given us, we have conducted this and this and this, so that they will do what? They will use the information to make decisions. In case we are not moving in the right direction, they will also give us guidance on how to move in the right direction. More so, from all these definitions, we have seen what monitoring is all about. It's an ongoing, systematic, and continuous process, meaning from the inception of the project up to the closure of the project, we have to do routine monitoring. More so, we say monitoring requires what? The collection and analysis of information to assist in decision making, able to make informed decisions, or we'll find challenges in making decisions every month. And this helps us to make so many decisions in regards to the project and you find that the number of children who are malnourished keeps on increasing every month. You'll be able to make decisions. You'll go and do research. You'll go and hold focus group discussions with the beneficiaries of that area to know exactly what is facing them, what are the causes of this malnutrition in their area, and why are they so affected more than the rest of the areas. Therefore, you will be able to know maybe these people, they are not having enough food at home, and that tells us that we need to bring in some projects, either GFD, or else these people, they don't know a lot of things about MRYCN. MRYCN is maternal, infant, and young child nutrition. maybe they don't have these key messages of how to avoid malnutrition in their communities. If you collect this data, from this data, you'll be able to make informed decisions. Are we together? In this, monitoring happens in 3 domains that are critical to programming. The domains are, 1, the inputs. Inputs, these are the things we put into the projects, whether it being the cash, the money, the staff themselves, and everything that we put into the project. Then the process, how we implement the activities. Then we also monitor what? The output. Output, these are the results, the immediate results that comes out after we have implemented what? An activity. Like if we have trained teachers on a scheme of work and lesson planning, the immediate output will be that these teachers will be able to plan and scheme their lessons. Therefore, if this one is happening, meaning what we did is good, the teachers have taken the knowledge, and this is now the output. Teachers go to their various schools, they plan their lessons well, they scheme their work well. This is now what? The output, the immediate result. Are we together? How do we monitor inputs? This one helps to ensure the staff are available to undertake the specific assignment, resources or consumed, and costs are within planned limits, and the required information is available. Meaning what? When we say we are doing this activity, training is going to happen in June, it has to happen in June. And the staff are there on the ground that will implement the training, okay? The resources is made available that will cater for that training. And if we set a budget limit, it's 500, we make sure that we have to either use the 500 or something in that range. If I'm too fast, we can also say I'm too fast. I am in this presentation mode. I will not be able to see so many charts as I'm focused here.
I will let you know in case there are any comments, so you can proceed, please.
Okay. How do we monitor process? Monitoring of process helps to ensure that the expected functions, initiatives, activities, and the tasks are performed in accordance with the set norms and plans, and that project personnel are meeting the set work standards. We are monitoring the process of implementation of these projects, how activities are being implemented, how finances are being utilized, and these two go hand in hand. Okay, then monitoring of outputs. Output, this one helps to ensure that services are delivered as planned, decisions are timely and appropriate, records are reliable, and reports are issued. Conflicts are resolved, and beneficiaries of the services are satisfied. That's where we bring in what we call post-distribution monitoring. We will find them ahead. We monitor what to know from the beneficiaries. Are they satisfied with the services that we are giving them? If they are satisfied, they will tell us. If they are not, we'll also want to know more. Why? What is missing? What are the gaps that we have not covered? Okay? These are some of the mechanisms on how we can monitor
Oh, so I think we lost you a bit, William. Are you back? I can see you in the call. William, I see you're in the call. Are you back?
Just one
So
request. Can I say it?
Yes, Isaac, you're welcome.
Yes, our instructor is already going on with the lesson. He's recording, but we can't record. I sent several messages to him to allow us to record.
No, you cannot record. You cannot record. It's only the host of the meeting who has the ability to record.
He's back. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, please.
Mode, presentation mode does not give you too much time to go and check the chat and all this because it will be focused. So these are some of the methods we use in monitoring. We have reports. Reports can be written or verbal concerning particular aspect of work, any special problem or difficulties encountered. Like we conduct trainings, and these trainings will be able to document the reports, how many people attended, what were the objectives, okay, challenges you people encountered during the training, and in some instances, some ways forward. Reports, then we have visits, very important as they add the human touch and ensure first-hand information and boost staff morale. We can go and visit the sites where we are doing our activities, if it's the schools, health centers, we visit. There is what we call joint supportive supervision, especially in nutrition, whereby the implementers together with the government county health department, they go and do their visits themselves to see how we are faring up, and also talk to the staff on the ground, how they are seeing implementation going on, and probably some of their challenges that they are facing while implementing these activities. Then we have checklist. Checklist in our aspect, we can say this is a quality benchmarks. This one has a list of items, minimum standard. If we
Okay, great. Again, we seem to have lost him, and yeah, we hope he bounces back shortly. We're just looking at this again.
There's no flow of this session, Bida.
Yeah, sorry, you know, like some parts of this country are weird, but we are working on a plan B. I think we should be sorted shortly. but you need to be very, very patient. Yeah, just be very patient as we sort this out. We
Yeah, he's supposed to strategize himself.
Manage busel mulo. Em diga mana asili. Tagbel. Masam par sande. Cool. Kale naja.
What happened with you also, Vida? Hello, Vida.
Yes, who is speaking?
That guy.
I think I propose that this, at least if you just send the notes to our subgroups, then at least we can be following from there. I think that will be another alternative. Because the internet challenge in South Sudan is kind of unreliable, I think.
Okay, great. Yeah, so it's, you know, usually it's very, very crazy, some of these things, but we totally understand that that technical errors happen from time to time, especially with sessions like this. And how do you call it? Nelson, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see, yes.
Yeah, so guys, we're going to have a switch of trainer. We will switch the trainer from William to Nelson. Nelson is also an M&E practitioner. He has been in the field and he has worked a lot with monitoring and evaluating projects. And I'm sure that he's also going to use the same presentation to continue from there. Nelson, over to you. I will share the screen. Then you just tell me next slide.
Okay. Now be there. If you can allow me share, I'm trying to share. I actually opened the presentation from here. There's a point that I want to pick from before coming to this one.
Perfect. Let me stop sharing and then I allow you to share.
All right.
And now Nelson should be a co-share. Maybe he comes back and then it can be allowed because
exactly. So
so let us hope that will just sort it out.
Yeah. So Nelson, I'm picking your name.
All right. No worries.
I'm just trying to get your name here. Okay, I got it. So you can now share your screen, please.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good. So I'm sharing. I hope that you people are now seeing.
Yeah, we can see now. You're welcome.
You can see, right? Okay.
Yeah. We can see.
All right. Let me just show this. Okay. So, all right. So let me hope we are all together. So thank you so much. And also sorry for all the inconveniences I believe that all of us here, at least we have a basic knowledge on M&E. And thank you, Vida, for the opportunity. And I've been really following critically. So up to this point, I think you all understand what is monitoring. So what we need to know is normally when we talk of M&E or MIL, some other people, they call it MIL, where we say monitoring, evaluation, and then learning and accountability. So those are key words that normally you should be able to know when you are actually dealing in this field. So monitoring, like he said, I think we understand. And then, of course, first of all, we need to ask ourselves, why do we monitor? That's why you see all these ones written here. We monitor because we need to actually see how the program is going. So let me use a case study. I remember he mentioned an example of education program where there is an element of training teachers, for instance. So there, let us say that is the intervention that is going on, and then you are training those teachers. I want to bring you to the element of the output, I mean the input, first of all, and then the process and the output. He did mention about these three things, and I think I'm going to add one, which is the outcome. So those are the key things that normally you understand. You need to understand critically. So like he mentioned, yes, input, these are like the resources that you put. Maybe we talk of the HR, the people who need to work on that project, maybe training the teachers. That means you will have trainers there. We may need to have finances, maybe some money that you need to pay. Of course, the trainers, you need to rent a facility and you need to buy equipment and so on. So all those ones goes to inputs. And then the process now is the training, like when you are conducting the training for the teachers. Now the output, like he mentioned before, according to him, he said, of course, it is the result of the training. Yeah, but I just need to add that normally the output, of course, these are immediate results of the intervention that you're doing. For instance, you're doing the training of teachers. At the output level, we have the number of teachers, first of all, trained. For instance, we train 50 teachers, right? 50 teachers, this becomes the output. But still, we need to see the result of training the 50 teachers. Now, the result of training, all this is the outcome. And I like the way he mentioned that when these teachers goes back and then start to do a good lesson planning, they start to apply the skills and so on. That is actually the outcome. And then the other results that I will add after the outcome is the impact. Of course, the impact, maybe we have a good education system, of course. So that is the hierarchy of results normally in monitoring and evaluation. And when you are in that field, you should be able to clearly know what we mean when we talk of the input, and what do we mean when we talk of the process, what we mean when we talk about the output, and then the outcome and the impact itself. So that is the example of education program. I want to bring you to another example, like maybe when we're talking about the nutrition program. So for nutrition, yes, we have, of course, still on the input side, yes, we have the input. Still, we have the money and the human resource. Those who will be dealing in the nutrition intervention, the staff will be there. You see, there are some staff, nutrition staff in some places, for instance, in health facility and so on. Those are the resources, I mean, the human resources they are working there. And then still on the output, we have the number of children who are already admitted in the nutrition program. You understand? So once we have the number, and then we have the outcome, we need to see the changes in the children. Maybe these children were admitted when they are badly off nutritionally, you see. And then once they're admitted, they start giving them the supplements and so on. So you see them changes. And there's a way also they monitor. Like he mentioned before about the monitoring sources where we talk of report. Report is something, of course, maybe written or verbal, something that you see. about an activity. That activity has been done. So from there, you dive into the report and then you pick out all the elements, and then you will be able to use for monitoring. So talking about the nutrition, we have all those elements is there. First of all, you have the register there, and then there's where they track the measurements of the children. Like if a child is admitted today, and then they take the measurement, they put there, then they keep on following up until this child is discharged from the nutrition program. So the outcome is when you see those indicators there, there's some indicators that you see the child is gaining weight and so on. So now, like monitoring all this, that is the outcome, is the result of that nutrition. And then also the impact, talking about the impact in the nutrition program, that is maybe reduction in infant mortality rate, you understand? So I just brought this element because I need you to understand this key element, because in monitoring and evaluation, if you don't understand the hierarchy of all this, and then it becomes difficult for you to even do the process itself. So thank you for that. I believe that you people understand. So we're going to continue with the presentation. Of course, this is where I talked about, and then monitoring of process, and then monitoring of output. Yeah, he talked about this. Yeah, this is where actually he left, and then the network has been really so bad with him. So talking about the reports, this is what I touched part of it. So we may have a written or verbal report, like yes, of course, concerning particular aspect of work, and then a special problem and so on. You also have visits, maybe like when there is an activity of education intervention, like I mentioned before, and there is an ongoing activity, maybe training teachers there in certain hall. So you can go there and visit them. And then, of course, there is that information normally in the plan. You know, plan is actually one of our sources of information that we monitor. Like if we say we're going to train 50 teachers, and then by you visiting that place, you get that maybe you get 10 teachers. That means there's something that is going on which is not right. Okay, so from there you would be able to use that data, and you should be able to ask your questions why. If the plan is that we are supposed to train 50 teachers, and then now we have 10 teachers or 20 teachers, that means there's a problem. And then you can there give advice. Maybe we need to add the teachers, or maybe we can stop the program and so on, because that program has been funded, and then it should be followed according to the plan, because at the end of the day, the donor would need to see the outcome of that program. That is something that somebody invested money in, and then it has to actually comply with the plan, with the previous plan. You get it? So also another element is the checklist. Maybe, yeah, it ensures all relevant aspects of the work has been acquired into. So checklists ensure that there has been no oversight because of pressing problem. So before doing an activity, definitely there is that checklist. So like we need this number of teachers, we need this number of materials, we need this, we need hall, even the venue for the training and so on, you see. And also talking about the nutrition, you cannot implement a nutrition intervention when you don't have some like food supplement, like this you used to see all these whatever where they give the children. Yeah. So if you don't have those nutrition supplement, and then it is highly likely that that project may not go, because at the end of the day, these are the things that you're going to give to the beneficiaries, and then you monitor them. So talking about the checklist, you have to make sure all the materials as is stipulated in the plan are there to avoid any delay or to avoid any program failure. So also meetings. Now, talking about meeting, this is also another way of monitoring. Let us say we are implementing a project, and then of course you implement for 1 month, and then you do a review meeting. And in this meeting also you need to select what we call stakeholders. So you can draw them, and then you can say, okay, we need maybe this number of girls and this number of boys, and this, depending on the target, because any project has a target audience, and then they have what we call stakeholders. You see, so from this, you select members and then you conduct meeting. You dive deep to understand actually what their issues are, and then it should be also systematic. You see, so that means you should have a good plan for this, and then you have at this meeting. So in your discussion, the outcome of the meeting will at least give you some information that you use at the end of the day in decision making. Now, also complaints. I think you've heard of something called complaint and feedback, maybe response mechanism. So talking about maybe food distribution, of course, there is a table sometime when they're distributing food to beneficiaries, and then we have that complaint table, complaint desk, where all everything is channeled. They actually channel everything there, and then maybe if you miss food and then maybe your name is not there and so on, you report there. So from here, you will get enough information and you'll be able to use the information in decision making. Now, here we talk about impact monitoring. I think I actually touched about this. Of course, impact, talking about the impact, this is actually the bigger aspect of the change that you intend to make. Maybe for the short intervention or medium intervention or long-term intervention. Normally, it is very hard to achieve the impact, but of course, it is of course achieved gradually. So this is the bigger aspect. Let us say we need to reduce infant mortality rate. Maybe that is the impact that we want to make. But for you to reach there, of course, there are processes that you go through, and those are the stages that I talked about. You need to have, first of all, you need to have the input, and then you need to have, after the input, you should be able to monitor the output and the outcome. That is when you'll be able to get there. Yeah, and this is where we get a lot of planning for you to get to the impact. So during impact monitoring, it is actually something that is big. You need to plan well, and then you need to have a lot of tools for you to put in place to track even the indicators, and then for you to be able to reach there. Physical progress monitoring, it's actually like the site visit, like we talk of. And then I want to talk about the financial monitoring. Let us say there is a project that, of course, you are implementing, and that project costs like 50,000 USD. And then in that project, of course, it is actually divided. There's a part of the budget that goes to personnel, first of all, how many, the staff that are going to implement that project, how many, you should be able to know as an M&E, how many staff are involved in that project and how much they are paid. And then, of course, we have some other costs apart from the personnel cost. We have things to do with maybe you need to buy some other equipment like computers. For instance, you need to buy mobile phone for communication, or you need to use some of the money even for transport, you see. So from there, you should be able to track all these details. Like if you find that maybe staff are not paid, you should be able to understand why, and then you should be able to give advice also, because those are some of the mistakes that you should be able to know. Like if we have the budget here for the staff, and then at the end of the day they work and they are not paid, that means even you are not reaching the impact that you intend to reach, right? Because it is actually these people that are going to work and then taking you to the output, to the outcome, and then to the impact level. But if they are not paid, that means there is something wrong from there. So as an M&E person, you should be able to give appropriate advice so that they are able to get paid, and then the activities are actually done according to the plan. Remember here, once you have a project, of course, you have the plan in place, And once that plan is there, it should be followed. If we say from this week, we're going to do this activity, it should be done according to the plan. And if it is not done, there's something wrong. And this is why M&D becomes really very important in this point. And if you realize that activities are not done, you need to dive deep and then try to understand why these activities are not done. And then you have to go to all these details, including financial monitoring, to see maybe there's a problem with the finance, and then you give advice so that the project is implemented and you are able to reach the outcome and the impact of the project. And then, okay, assumption monitoring. This is also very rare activity, but extremely crucial, where the program may be collaborating with agencies which are not directly answerable to its management. So it involves assessment of conditions that might exist if the program is to succeed, but which are not under the direct control of the program. There's something called SWOT analysis. All those elements are there in project management. So like talking about SWOT, I think some of you might have come across the SWOT analysis, where we talk all those. We have it stands for the strength, first of all, of the intervention. We have the weaknesses, what you understand the weaknesses, and then we have the opportunities and the threats. So during assumption monitoring here, you have to better understand the SWOT analysis I'm talking about. So there are some other things that are beyond your reach as an organization or as an M&D person, but you should be able to understand this one very clearly, so that you're able to see what are those external factors that hinders the effective implementation of this program. You understand? So you understanding this better helps you to also design good approach of actually dealing with these problems. You get it? So this assumption monitoring here is one of the key elements when we talk about M&D role. Now, this is, remember, we're actually talking about monitoring there. So monitoring, like when we frequently gather information, and then we take corrective measures before any situation actually escalate into worse or actually bad. So the idea is to get things on track before actually an activity or the project fails. So you need to collect the information from time to time. You analyze also that information, and then you use that information to make decisions so that the project actually continues. So
excuse me.
Yes.
There are people who are actually drawing on your screen. There are some of these participants. So I would ask you to stop sharing and then you share again, so that these lines can go away.
Yeah, actually, I'm wondering why they are actually drawing.
No, so, some people are new to these things, so they actually do stuff for fun.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you for the reminder. Meanwhile, I also need to ask if the other trainer is back, and if we can pick up from evaluation here, or if it's not there, and then I will just continue.
It's not back.
It's not yet back.
Once it's back, I will let you know. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. So let me unshare and reshare. Yeah.
Otherwise, guys, I see a couple of comments in the chat box. There are people who are asking about the font size and stuff. So you people shouldn't worry. I think, to me, what matters is the explanation, because after all, at the end, the presentation will be shared with you. So what really matters for all of us now is to be able to pick the explanation very clearly. At the end, you will get the presentation, and then if you want to increase the font size, you can actually increase the font size. But what matters in these sessions are usually the explanations that are being offered by the trainer. That is really what counts for us, and that is why we really want you to be part of the masterclass. Nelson, have you stopped sharing?
Actually, it continues appearing the same. I don't know. Yeah.
You first have to stop sharing, then you share it again.
Yeah, you stop sharing and then you share again. Yeah. So I just shared my screen. Let me stop and then you share.
All right. All right. All right.
Okay. I see William is back. William,
okay.
Can you hear us? No, you can share at the moment because he has to see the internet is stable, yeah. Yes, and then you go out of protected view. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
You enable editing and then you get out of protected view. Yep. Yeah, good. And then now you can go to slideshow and then continue from there. Good. Continue. William, can you hear us? Oh, he cannot hear us. You can proceed, please.
Okay, it's not hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, now, before we go to evaluation, yeah, maybe we can, in the part of monitoring, maybe we can pick some concerns. Maybe those who might have missed out something or they need to add before we switch to evaluation. Would that be good, Peter?
Okay, okay. Let me get a few questions. Let me get a few.
I'll call you. But I went with him. I'll call you soon.
Okay. Yeah, I just muted that.
Let's mute.
All right.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So yeah. So there's one question. There's one question. One person was asking that. One person was asking that what is the relationship between project monitoring and audit?
Okay.
What is the relationship between monitoring and audit? And then another one is asking that do you think assumption monitoring is necessary for use in a project? And then another one was asking, another was making a comment that suggestion box is also one method for, is saying that suggestion box is one complaint and also feedback method in monitoring.
Exactly.
And then somebody also asking that, please make me understand the difference between output and outcome. So those are the
Okay. Now, I want to start by the one who would want to understand the output. Okay, the difference between the output and the outcome, right? So normally what I do, I want to give you an example, like training. Let us take a training program. So we are training teachers. We brought teachers, like maybe within Juba, we say, okay, we need to train 20 teachers. So we brought in all these teachers from different schools within Juba for a training, and we put them in the hall. So they are ready for training. And actually, the training is 1 week. You get it? So once we train the 20 teachers in this 1 week, this is already an output of that activity. This is the output, training 20 teachers. And then after the training, of course, the teachers get new skills and knowledge, right? That they need to implement in their various schools. Maybe they need to do proper lesson planning, and then besides other things. So when they go back and start doing proper lesson planning, let us assume that even before they were brought for the training, they were not doing proper lesson planning. So after the training, they are able to do proper lesson planning. This is the outcome of the training. You get it? So them, the teachers, doing proper lesson planning is the outcome of the training. But the training of teachers, the training of 20 teachers, of course, is the output. You get it? The output. So this number of teachers were trained on this, but you are not sure. You are not sure on whether they are going to implement the skills or not. You get it? So normally, even donors, they need reports based on the outcome of the activity. So if you say, yes, okay, during this time, we train this number of people, donors don't get attention to that one, but what they get attention to is whether those teachers are able to apply their skills. And that is the outcome that they focus in. Let me hope you are able to get the difference between the outcome and the output. Now, the other question, the other one is not a question, but it's talking about the suggestion box. That is one of the monitoring methods where you put a suggestion box and then people throw in their feedback, you collect them and then you analyze later on. Yeah, that is also a good one. And I think it's a comment, according to me. It is not actually a question, but it is there. It is a comment and then it is good. We should apply it as one way of monitoring projects. And then Bida, maybe you can help. Okay, the relationship of monitoring and audit, right? That is one of the concerns.
Yes. Yeah. And then after that, you can just proceed.
Okay, the relationship of monitoring and audit. Normally, other people, they actually mistake M&E staff to be auditors. Why? Because in financial monitoring, like when I was explaining before, that we have an activity and then it is budgeted for, and then if that activity is not done, the M&E person maybe may ask, and then he may actually reach the finance whether okay, the budget is there or it is not been actually used accordingly. You see, so that is the relationship. That is where now you start thinking that maybe auditing an M&E is related, but of course the real audit that you're talking about is something different that is also done by some other experts, and then they focus on financial management normally. But M&D now talks about finance versus the plan, the activities. You get it? So that is the slight differences. But to me, somehow they're related. Maybe Vida, you can help in that, and then we proceed to evaluation.
I think that's pretty clear. You can proceed, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, talking about evaluation. So my slides are not moving. Okay. Now, talking about evaluation, of course, we say it is the process of gathering this information to inform judgment about project achievement and values. So it is an assessment at one point in that concentrated specifically on whether the objectives of the program have been achieved or no, and then the impact. So it is a process of determining and systematically, objectively as possible, the relevance, effectiveness, and the impact of the activities in the light of their objectives. Now, talking about evaluation, because in monitoring, we say that is something that is done, of course, continuously. Now, you cannot, the difference of monitoring and evaluation is that monitoring is done you do it continually, but evaluation, you do it once in a while. Like maybe you can do in the middle of the project, and then you can do at the end of the project. So why you do evaluation, you are looking at the objective. If you say, okay, you need to see, and normally the objectives are drawn from the result. Like when I explained, we need to see some changes. Like if we say, okay, we need to see proper lesson planning for teachers and so on, for instance, or we need to reduce, we need to actually reduce malnutrition for children between the ages of 0 up to 5 years. So here in evaluation, you are trying to look at these objectives, whether you've been able to reach to it or not. And that is why you need to do it after the implementation. Like you can implement the project maybe for some months, and then in the middle, you can do the evaluation process. Why? You are going to ask questions like you actually go deeper and then you develop tools, you go and ask. Our colleague talked before that you may need even to go and have a meeting, you discuss, you conduct focus group discussion and so on. So in evaluation, those are the things that you look at. So there are different methodologies that you actually apply during evaluation. So what you need to actually understand as I take away today, you need to understand that evaluation is done maybe at the end of the project or in the middle of the project. Why? Because you need to know whether the direction that you set is accurate or it is going somewhere. Is the program effective or it is not effective? You see, this is why we need to conduct evaluation. Let us maybe give an example, or maybe a training that you need to do maybe on peace. We take a situation where two communities are fighting. You get it? Two communities are fighting, and then sorry, there's a noise in the background. Okay, two communities are fighting, and then you implement activity. So you need to stop the violence. You need to see that after the implementation of this program, the two communities should coexist peacefully. You get it? So while you evaluate this, you need to see, like after you implement the project for 3 months, then you need to go and actually understand and to see whether these communities are existing peacefully or they are fighting each other, you see? So if you go and see that these communities are coexisting peacefully, that means the training or the program that you implemented is what? Effective, right? It is effective because it has actually reached the objective. But what happens if you go and then see the communities, instead of staying together in peace, they are even fighting each other, and then even they are killing each other? That means that program is not what? It is not effective. And you need to either redesign it, or you need to even terminate it completely because it is not actually reaching the objective. So this is the purpose of evaluation. Normally we do it either in the middle or at the end of the program. Now, you can see from here, it is all explaining about the evaluation, where you say is a process of gathering information to inform judgment about the project achievement and value. And this is what exactly I've been explaining about. So evaluation can be conducted to determine whether the project has been met for meeting its goals. You see, like when I brought in that example, you go, okay, you train the two communities, and then you go after 3 months, you find already very many people already killed. So the conflict is already intensified. That means you are not actually meeting the objective. So you either need to draw another program, or you write another project, or maybe you redesign that project. Then evaluation might assess project progress in the work plan, you see? So the establishment of the system, implementation of activities, production of intended output, achievement of outcome, goals, cost efficiency, effectiveness, impact, and sustainability. Now, evaluation looks at 3 key things. It first need to understand the outcome, and then even the impact. You also need to understand the efficiency of the program, how effective it is, that is the effectiveness, and the sustainability aspect of the program. So about the other one, I think, but I want to emphasize on the element of sustainability, why it is really important during evaluation, because once a project has been funded and then you are actually trying to, you actually implemented it, you are trying to create a change there. But sustainability, you are looking at something beyond the project timeline, like when the project ends coming December, and then moving forward after December, what are you going to do? Like the activities that you have done, is it just going to die and people move away from there, or they come back to zero? You see, so you should think of an element where you should be able to actually put something like after the project, you should actually, people should see something that can continue even without the funding. And this is something that the donors these days they are looking at. So if you actually write a project that is minus the sustainability aspect, then you are likely actually not getting the fund, because they do not want to put the money and then at the end of the day, everything ends after the project. So the sustainability element is very important, and this is normally done during evaluation, because if you committed during the proposal process that you are going to do the sustainability in this way, and then this is what they will evaluate after the end of the project. So at the end of the project, they go back, they ask the community how people are doing. For instance, like if the communities, are they able to sustain just sustain their relations, not fighting each other? Are they going in the violence direction, or they're going peace direction? Or even, are they able to, like, once in a while come together and share some dialogue, even without you, the trainer? So those are the things that people look at in the sustainability element. So they are really very, very important. And then, so finding from evaluation allows project team and stakeholders to learn from experience to improve future activities and intervention strategies. You see, so evaluation helps you learn a lot, and then it helps you actually improve a certain aspect in the future. Now, while monitoring is an ongoing activity, evaluation occurs periodically, typically at midterm and at the end of the project. This is something that I talked about. Now, evaluation is used for the following. One, you assess the changes in the target. You see, remember, any program has a target. So, like if you target 100 people, you're going to assess the behavior of those 100 people that you selected. So, like if you are reaching 100 people, you cannot go back during evaluation and then you start asking different people. You need to ask the same people, and normally there is a criteria that they use to get sample. You may not ask all of them. Of course, it will be costly, but normally what they do, they select sample of the 100, and then it should be standard way. So you select and then you interview them and then you get the results. But if you go back and do a different, you ask a different group and then you are doing wrong thing, which is not good. So normally evaluation, you have to assess the changes in the target group, and then also you assess the extent to which the objective have been met within the target group. Because, for instance, if you did food distribution to maybe 50 households in one location, you cannot go back and do evaluation of maybe 20 or 30 people in another area who actually did not receive food. You get it? So you need to interview those people that receive food, because you are going to ask them how the food actually helped them during that time. You get it? So if you have to also use good criteria during evaluation to make sure you select the right sample so that you're able to get the right result. And this is where sometimes an element of bias comes in. If you go and select wrong sample, and then you're actually likely to get wrong information, and you will also make wrong decision. You get it? So you also need to track the outcome and the impact of the program. Yes, at the larger population level, as opposed to the program or the objective. Yeah. So you'll make actually what we call triangulation of data. Like during the process, if you get the information to analyze for the target, you also need to understand the broader aspect of the population, you see, so that you're able to compare, and then you come up with a good conclusion. You get it? Normally, conclusion is not something big, but of course, you just you get few key points that can actually, actionable points that can help much in decision making. And you talk about the outcome, the impact. You see, those are the elements that we talked about before. So these are the hey, are we going? Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
To stress more.
Yes. You're most welcome.
Thank you. Previous slide.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
great. Looks like your network is good now, William. You're welcome.
thank you.
Okay.
I wish I knew earlier. I would have used the phone rather than the computer. So
No problem.
what we said, to track the outcomes and impacts of programs or projects at the larger population level as opposed to the program or project level. This one sometimes, like we have these livelihood activities. If we have trained youth on either soft skills or TVET, then we will assess after that training, how are they faring up with life? Have they established their businesses? Like people for tailoring, are they now having their centers? So if they are having these centers, having their businesses, what has that business, done at their household level? You find that they are now faring well, they have enough cash, their family standard of living has improved. So this is what we look beyond, beyond the individual. It has gone up to the household level, up to even community level. Meaning if youth are trained, they have the skills, they have established their businesses, they are now doing well financially, and their families are also doing well. This is how we track. Then when we come to outcomes, we say these are short-term or immediate results obtained by the program through execution of activities. When we train teachers, the training has helped them to plan their lessons, to scheme their work. And if they scheme their work well, what will happen? They will be able to deliver lessons well to the learners. And if learners are having good lessons, what will happen? They also learn well. Impact, this is now long-term. The changes in health status. Like if we say we are training the community on good hand washing practices. After the toilet, you wash your hands. Before preparing food, you wash your hands. After the project, do people still wash their hands after doing these activities, or they were just doing this during the project? But I believe after some time, if this exercise continues, you find what these diseases cause, like diarrhea, will reduce in the community if people are having what? Good hygiene practices. Next. Okay, these are types of evaluation. We have formative evaluation. This type of evaluation is conducted during the development and implementation of a program. It aims to provide feedback and information to guide program improvement. This one can be like baseline. We go to the community, we want to know in this community, what level are they in at the moment? Where are they? Like in terms, we have, when we are doing education project, we want to know the level of literacy in this community. That is before we start our implementation. If the level of literacy, is at 20 or at 10%, then we give our target that we want to raise it from 10% to 50%, meaning we have our target 40%. 40% is our target increment from 10 to 50. Then we implement our project, we take children to school. After the project, when the project ends, we will come again and do what? Evaluation now. We evaluate that when we came in, literacy level in this community was at 10%. After our implementation, we want to know where has it reached now. if we have gotten there 40%. Then we have summative evaluation. This is conducted at the end of a program, just the opposite of the first. Then we have process. This can be like midterm process evaluation, focuses on assessing the type and quantity and quality of program activities or services. It determines whether a program is delivered or intended to the target recipients. We want to know if actually the activities that we have been implementing have reached where the targeted recipients. Like this can be a midterm evaluation. Then lastly, outcome evaluation. This now assesses what the outcomes and impacts of a program. This can be done even after 5 years, 3 years, when the project has already ended. They want to assess the sustainability if what you people implemented is still being replicated by the community. Like I said, we had given, we taught the community on exclusive breastfeeding. Let them breastfeed their children exclusively for 6 months before they start giving complementary feeding or water and some food to the child. For this time, when our project ends, we want to come and assess after some years to see if this community is still practicing those exclusive breastfeeding. Are we together? So if we assess, we'll be able to know. This one will tell us the impact of our programming in the community. Next. Impact evaluation. We say this, performance evaluation assesses the performance and effectiveness of individuals, organizations, or systems. This one mostly carried out by external evaluators when we are coming to evaluate the effectiveness and performances of what individuals can be done within, like developed to perform. An organization, if we are evaluating an organization, this can be done by external evaluators. It focuses on measuring and evaluating specific performance indicators and targets. Then when we talk of cost benefit, we want to see the actual. This one evaluates the cost incurred and the benefits gained. Like you cannot tell us that you have used $1 million in educating the community, and we have not seen the impact. Okay, the impact is not there. We found children are still not at school, or they don't know this simple ABCD. This one meaning that it's not cost effective. We have been dumping money where the outcome is less. We have places we construct toilets while the people in that locality don't prefer using toilets. They prefer using open defecation. This one happens. We construct toilet, nobody goes there. Why? Because they have their own, they have their mites. They have their thoughts, wrong thoughts about using the toilets. They have their own attitude. Okay? Beda, have you not shared the attendance? Somebody's raising their hand.
I have shared the attendance. Please, you can proceed, William.
Okay, somebody's raising their hand. Let's take.
Yes, Gale Moses, your hand is up. Gale.
Yes, I'm not actually asking a question, but I'm just giving in the point of question.
Your network is. Can you just Gale kindly type. You can proceed.
Can increase the contrast so that the visibility can be clear at all ends.
Obeda, you reshare the attendance, the link. You reshare. Nelson, let's go ahead.
Continue. Yes, continue, William. Okay. Let me
Yes.
go.
So this is difference between monitoring and evaluation. As we said, evaluation is periodic, while monitoring is continuous. Okay. Monitoring focuses on what? Collecting data, monitoring progress, and tracking key performance indicators. While evaluation involves what? Collection, analysis, and interpretation of data to draw conclusions about the program's success. Monitoring is an operational level activity performed by supervisors, while monitoring is a business level activity performed by managers or also external evaluators. I think these are clear. Let's go ahead. Time may not be on our side. Accountability. In some organizations, they call it accountability, just accountability. And in others, they say accountability to affected population. Next slide. I have more explanation. This is what the process of being answerable for actions and decisions, both to internal stakeholders like the donors, partners, and beneficiaries. We need to be answerable to them. We should also do what? We should also show them what we are doing. We should not just come, do our things without the knowledge of the community, we disappear. No, we have to tell the community what we are doing and what we expect, and even what the amount of money that we are going to use in that specific project. We have also external stakeholders like the government. We have line ministries. We work with them hand in hand, like for health. If you are doing health program, Ministry of Health is there. If you are doing education program, Ministry of Education is there. They should be aware. They should have all your documents so that they know what you're doing. Sorry. Components of accountability, we have information sharing. Information sharing helps what the community to get required information that helps them to complain and provide feedback. The content of the information includes the background of your organization. You tell them the background of the organization, your vision, the mission, values, and what the organization is doing in that particular community. Then you also give them what? Project information, what the project objective is, project life period, for how long this project is going to be in the community, the budget, 2 million, 4 million, 1 million, 30,000 US dollars. They should know that this is what is going to be used for implementing what? Activities in our area. Tell them, does the project work in collaboration with other organizations? Like if you're working with partners, education partners, health partners, if you just have some partners, you also tell them so that they know. They will not talk, this is the application of activities, but they will be clear. Who are the intended beneficiaries? Who are you targeting? You should tell them, because in the community it's very hard. You should also tell them selection criteria. You cannot just come and say we are taking boys without explaining to them. This one will cause issues. If you are targeting orphans, tell them that in this project we are targeting orphans. If you are targeting child-headed households, say we are targeting child-headed households. If you are targeting women-headed households, say we are targeting women-headed households. And the most vulnerable, or the elderly, the disabled, they should know. so that it will not cause problems between you and the beneficiaries. Do you have, you should also tell them how you engage with the community in project implementation. At what sessions, what are they entitled to? What will you give to these beneficiaries? They should also know, so that they will not ask you things that you cannot provide. Then another component is participation. Accountability involves giving beneficiaries and stakeholders the power to hold organizations to account in ways that influence project organizations. This means what? Involving the stakeholders in the design, implementation, and evaluation of programs to ensure that their needs and perspectives are taken into account. You should go to the community, let them participate. Like if you have project review meetings, bring stakeholders in, let them tell you. You cannot plan for somebody without their involvement. You don't know what they are facing. You don't know what they need. So bringing them in will give you that first-hand information. You will really know what is facing them in the community. If they are lacking water, they will tell you that in our place here, what we need majorly, the main things we want is water. We drill for us boreholes and all this. So this one helps. Next. Okay. We have complaints, feedback and response mechanisms. In some places, in some, we call it CFM, community feedback mechanisms. There are those who call community feedback and response mechanisms. And this one, a functional CFRM system can be established. To do what? To get complaints and feedback from the community. We have some of the mechanisms where we can receive feedback or complaints from the community, like the focus group discussions. You go to the school or distribution site, you have a discussion with your beneficiaries. They will tell you how your project is going on. If there are areas whereby they are unsatisfied with the services that you're providing, they will also tell you. If there are some staff who are not behaving well, they will tell you. Then community dialogues. During community dialogue, these are just like meetings. Then face-to-face meetings. Help desk mostly for GFD. We have help desk or child help desk. They're all there. Then community reference group. These ones, you will form them in the community. You tell the community that whoever has complaint, those who are not, the complaints that are not so sensitive, they can forward them to the community reference group. And this community reference group will forward to the CFM focal point in that particular organization. Like if you are doing cash distribution and the cash does not come on time, it delays, or some people did not get, or else some people got, but not the expected amount. They got it either less. They will be able to give their complaint to the community reference groups, and these groups will reach out to the focal point of that particular organization and to see how these issues can be resolved. We have in cases whereby the staff that we employed go out to the community, tell the community that you are entitled to 70,000, while in actual sense, they are entitled to 100,000. Or we go, this staff also go in the community, get some people who are not targeted, they give them this money, then later on go and get the money, they divide among themselves. The community also will report those cases, either to community reference group, or when we have hotline and they have access to, there's network coverage in their area, they have phones, they can call directly using hotline. We have also suggestion boxes where somebody writes, this is applicable where people can read and write. They write and we open them every week, and we tell them that there are complaints that are sensitive and should be reported within 24 hours, like things to do with fraud, we report. Things to do with child safeguarding, they report within 24 hours to the focal point, fraud focal point or child safeguarding focal point. We talked about hotline. If some of them are not convenient with the other mechanisms mentioned above, they can use hotline. This one is there. We give the banners out. We tell the beneficiaries what they can do. They call. Unfortunately, we receive calls from beneficiaries asking for airtime. Send us airtime. Meaning you have not made awareness very well in the community what the use of hotline is for. Then we have post-distribution monitoring. This one done after 2 weeks. Like if you have had distributions, then after 2 weeks or 1 week, you come and do post-distribution monitoring. There we have columns whereby if people are satisfied with what they have received or not. We also ask them if there are cases of fraud whereby somebody received less than what he or she is entitled to. We'll also be able to get them from this PDM. Then we have registration book. Next, unless if there's any question. Okay. Before we come to learning, let's take some questions regarding accountability.
Okay, great. So guys, if you have any questions on accountability, you can raise your hand and ask, or you can type your questions in the chat box. Also, in the meantime, we have shared the attendance both in the Zoom chat box and also on YouTube for those who are following on YouTube. Actually, if you are facing a lot of internet glitches on Zoom, I would advise that you actually follow the session on YouTube. On YouTube, it doesn't affect, especially when you have very poor internet. Yes, I see Wani Samson. Wani Samson, you're welcome. And then later we give a Pius. Wani, you're welcome.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I hope I'm audible enough.
Very audible.
Yes. I think I just wanted to ask regarding earlier on about the financial part. There was a presentation regarding the financial part. I think it was in the earlier slide. I missed asking question in that area. I just wanted to know, like in an M&E, what are the most effective, cost-effective options which are there? Maybe you can as well tell us so that we can know. And then the second question is regarding a strategy, like assuming the strategy has no better outcomes, like what should one do as an exit plan so that in relation to with the reporting? I just wanted to know those areas. Thanks.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Another
Wani.
one.
Would you like to answer one after the, or do you want to pick them all?
We pick them, then we go on.
Okay. Yes, Pius. Pius, you can ask your question, please. After Pius, Taban Benai. Pius, are you still there? Okay, Taban, you can go, please.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. It is really very nice. And I just have one question. We had sessions on business plan, business management, project, and small business and hustling. So it is really good. And this session has come in the right time so that whoever will have that side business can make use of the monitoring and evaluation. So my question is, how can we link this monitoring and evaluation to our small businesses? Thank you.
Okay, William, those are the, we have a hand from Kudum David. Kudum David, you're welcome, please.
Thank you. I'm Kudum David from Malakal. I want to inquire more information, like if you are planning to have your own small businesses, how can you make accountability on your progress of your business to the beneficiaries whom you are serving in the community or in that society? Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get it well.
Okay, I'm talking like accountability. The accountability, I want to prepare in accountability of making your own business. How can you really know that you are accountable for the impact that you are doing in that business of yours? Maybe that business is a charitable business and we are getting a little bit apart from it. How can you account it? Can we use all those platforms for accountability in our own private businesses, or only these accountability methods can be used only in organizations?
Okay, great. So thank you so much for that question. We can give another hand to Pius. Pius, you are back. Pius, you can ask your question, please. Taban, is that a new hand or that is an old hand?
It's an old hand.
Okay.
New
Pius,
one,
you can
the
ask.
new one. Yeah, I was asking something on under the components of accountability regarding the help desk. I do not understand something here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Issue of help desk. Yes, Ojara Charles, and then Mustafa Adam, and then John Mabe. Ojara Charles.
Okay. Yes, please. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for taking us back. I think this might be the only opportunity because the training is coming to an end for today's session. What I needed a clarification on the under the monitoring. Let him highlight something on the process under those inputs, and then let him differentiate between method and tools. This is what I have. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And Mustafa Adam, please, before we go to Mabe Charles. So Peter Dada, your question will come later. Our time is up. Yes, Mustafa.
Thank you so much. My question is in regard to the component of accountability, especially component number 1, section 2. It's about sharing project information. You'll find that in some situation, a person shares a project document with a stakeholder. Case in point may be a government stakeholder. All the necessary information in relation to the project is shared. And especially the issue of budget, since it's more sensitive. Once it is shared, you'll find that some of maybe the stakeholders, they will feel like to have an influence in that budget utilization. And if a person refuses to give for them a clear guidelines or for them to be permitted to influence the budget, and is it not going to affect the project implementation or the project outcome if their views are not taken into consideration in the budget?
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think those questions are enough. William and Nelson, you can answer them. Over to you guys.
William, I think you can go ahead.
Let me start from the exit strategy. Mostly the exit strategies that we have, we involve the government as stakeholders and the partners, especially if you are an international organization, you want to exit, even the assets, mostly we give to the line ministries. We give them and we have a meeting to tell them exactly that we are going away and we want you to continue from where we have left. I know challenges with us in South Sudan. When you tell the line ministry that we are exiting, we are handing over these project activities for you to continue doing, they will say they don't have money to fund those activities. This is what we are facing. Maybe not all, but it's very critical for us. If there is a local NGO, you hand them over. You begin engaging them 6 months prior to the exit of the project. You bring them on board. John, are you having something urgent to say?
Yeah, I see his hand has been up since. Let's give him the chance. Yes, Mabe, you can ask your question, please, or you can make your comments. Mabe? And then we have Evelyn. Evelyn, you are the only lady. Let's give you the chance. Evelyn, you can unmute and ask.
Okay, thank you so much, the facilitator. I just have a question. I don't know if it's going to be a discussion for tomorrow or it's not within this learning whatsoever for today and tomorrow. I wanted you guys to give us a big difference between
Evelyn, your mic just turned off. I don't know who muted you, but can you just turn on your mic again and speak? Evelyn, your mic is off.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was saying, I don't know if what I'm asking is out of context, not within this learning topics that you guys have come out with. I wanted you guys to give in-depth analysis and differences between a qualitative and quantitative way of method of data collection, because many of the M&E personnel or specialists or even the consultants, that's what is giving us the headache too much. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Evelyn. We have this session tomorrow. We will have methods of data collection and sampling techniques tomorrow. But just to give you overview, qualitative, we are not, when we talk of qualitative, this one involves like focus group discussion. We want to know more, like in written, what the community is facing, what are their attitudes toward a certain topic of discussion. And when we say quantitative, with this, we are dealing with numbers, okay? We use surveys, the questionnaires, this one in Kobo, numbers, how many people responded this, how many people did that. But with this, we will hold focus group discussions and all this. We will talk more about it tomorrow. I will get you, we will get you covered, okay? Let me get back to exit strategy. Let me get back to exit strategy. As I said, we begin engaging the stakeholders 6 months prior to the end of the project. We tell them our stand as a project or as an organization or a particular program. It's coming to an end, ways forward, how we can sustain it. Like the teachers we've been paying, what can we do? We take them to the government, the volunteer teachers, we enroll them to the government so that they continue paying them after when our project comes to an end. Some organization as well will come in. If we have another organization doing the same activity, we will give them over to that organization. They continue from there as we exit. I think I've given you this. Then how can we link M&E to our small businesses? Monitoring, as we say, it covers a wide aspect. You can monitor the finances that you are making out of this business, how much you have invested, and what is your return on investment. And for how long have you, what you have forecast that in the next 6 months, I should have been able to do what? To get this amount of money based on what you have invested in this business. Then if it's not going according to the plan, what might have been the issue? You will try to see around and see where your gaps are. Maybe your location is not strategic enough to attract customers. Let me hope you are getting me. Yes, and if you see that maybe your location is not strategic, you try to move to another location. If it's working there, meaning you have now assessed yourself and you have found what? A better way to move on and also handle your finances. Accountability in business. Somebody talked of accountability. Yes, help desk. Someone said he did not get help desk. Like in distribution, we have this help desk whereby somebody just comes, he's put specifically to receive complaints from the beneficiaries. We put help desk, focal point. Our hotline also is there. And those face-to-face complaints that you receive from the beneficiaries, your work will be there just to receive complaints and feedback from the beneficiaries. This is what we call help desk. In CP, they call it child help desk. Child help desk is where children come and report their cases. Then the focal point also refers those children where to the caseworker who will document and make assess the case if it qualifies to be a case or not. This is a child help desk and a help desk. I think I've answered this. Process monitoring. Process monitoring means you are monitoring the activities that you had planned to implement. If you said like we are going to conduct a training in December, we are conducting a training in June, we monitor. In June, how many trainings have we conducted that we had planned? If the training has not happened, what might have led to this? Is it from procurement process or what? Okay, this is how we monitor the process. We check our inputs and we check our targets. How many have we reached so far? According to the plan. If we plan to reach 100 people in a year, not only 100, like 1,000 beneficiaries, maybe we are paying 1,000 teachers in a year. Then we track in a month, we divide 1,000 by 12. Then we see in a month how many have we reached, or if we have reached like in the middle of the year and we have not reached 500, what is the problem? Are there no teachers in this location? You try to see around what might have led to the issue, why you are not getting teachers to meet your target. Emmanuel, we will come back to you. Then methods and tools. Okay, somebody wanted to know the difference between methods and tools, the differences. Methods can either be qualitative method of data collection, okay, or quantitative method of data collection, or mixed method. These are the methods that we have. Then the tools can be the questionnaire guide, okay? Are we together? The questionnaires that we are going to use for collecting data, these are the tools, as well as what? Questionnaires, interviews, these are now the tools that you'll use for collecting data. Then sharing project information. This is for transparency. We share project information with the stakeholders and the beneficiaries, telling them what we have intended to implement with that money. Our activities are A, B, C, D. We have not encountered an issue whereby a government official or a stakeholder wants to influence the budget. It might be there, but you will not bow to it. We explain to them explicitly, clearly, that we are using this money to implement these activities. Breakdown, make them activity breakdown year by year. If it is 30 or 35 per year, you tell them. And these activities, we are going to procure this learner's kit. It will cost for us this. Teachers' incentives will cost for us this. The staff salaries will cost for us this. Mobility will cost for us this. If they know all this against the budget, activities against the budget, they will not influence, because they will see that if they influence, one of these activities will be affected. But we tell them what the budget is just for transparency. We don't want to work as if we are working on our own, but we should put the beneficiaries at forefront. Let me hope I've answered you all, unless if there's someone who...
William,
Yes.
there's one that you can also answer on financial management in
Financial
relation to, yeah, in relation to M&E. You can highlight on that.
Okay, financial management, this one also helps us to know what the activities implemented versus the actuals. Like we have planned 500 US$ for conducting an activity like strengthening accountability in the community. We monitor, we not want you to use 800 in that activity. Why? Because it will cost for us what? Overspend. Okay, it is mostly done by finance focal point, whereby every month they share for you the BVA, budget and analysis and variance, budget variance analysis, how much we have spent in this particular activity, so that if the lines are already used up, they're already spent, they will tell you not to charge in this particular DEAs because they are already overspent. As well as we can't forecast 500, then you end up using 200 only for implementing this activity. It will also cause for us underspent. Okay, people will question, why have you used only 200? What did you even do with this 200? You see, it's important to monitor finances so that we know the worth of the training that we are conducting. I think that's all from my side. Anything else? If not, we continue. Time is against us.
Yes, you can continue, please. You can continue, and then you can get questions as a bunch at the end. So I would advise.
Okay. The last component of MIL is learning. Learning is an ongoing process of reflection and adaptation aimed at improving program design, implementation, and outcomes based on feedback and evidence. It involves using the results obtained through monitoring and evaluation to inform decision making and promote continuous improvement. Let's say currently we have implemented so many projects and we have learned a lot. And this learning differs from location to location. Like in our location where I am currently, there are no female teachers. We have, like in our target, we want 124, but you find only 6 female teachers. What could be the issue? We have learned, we know that. Next time when we are designing projects, we also learn that girls are few in the schools. So when we are procuring dignity kits, we should not bring a lot because nobody will be there to take them. We also learn this. We have learned a lot, and this one will help us to do what? To plan and make decisions. We say continuous learning is an approach that focuses on what? Somebody's video is on. That focuses on continuous learning. We use the information that we learned from the previous project to do what? To improve the project's performance. Like in the beginning, it was really very hard for us to go on with the education project because we don't really know. We plan, we go to the school, we find the enrollment is high in the beginning of the year. You find like in a school, there's 1,300 learners. Then all of a sudden, after 3 months, you come back to that school, you find only 20 learners. While the enrollment you had taken is 1,200. You have used that information already to go and procure what? Learners kit. You inform the logistics. We have taken the statistic of the learners. You bring for us a learners kit. In 3 months, learners kits will be provided. will be brought to your project location. You go to the school, you find only 20 learners out of 1,200. Where will you put these learners' kits? You end up putting them in the stores. Others are even getting stolen, and it put you in problem with the donors. That you gave us this, and now you are getting this. You go to the school, you find there are no learners at all. What we have come to realize is in these locations, when there is feeding program in the school, learners come. When there's no feeding program, the school closes. Even if they are going towards exams, the school closes. When it's time for scaring birds or chasing birds in the gardens, enrollment drops. Sometimes when the borehole is broken, enrollment also does what? Drops. So we have learned. We will take this one for planning, but we will know that this number may not stay until the end of the year. What we have to do is bring at least half of the number or quarter, of which we did this and it was successful. We bring these learners' kits, we find the learners are really few, and you give them, and it was really enough. We also learned in some far locations, they don't prefer school. What we have to do is to bring in their teachers and also give them incentives. The volunteer teachers, if they are given incentives, they have that urge. They will be motivated to teach. And if there is no incentive, they will not teach. So this is what learning has helped us. Program improvement, we have improved our program through learning, evidence-based decision making, like what I said. Okay, I've not seen any question in the chat box. Maybe Beda will tell me later. Evidence-based decision making.
There are no questions.
Okay. Somebody was like, okay, let's continue. M&E systems contribute to providing evidence for midterm and completion result assessment, as well as beneficiary level impact analysis. M&E considerations at the design stage help to focus on results that matter. We also have capacity development. Capacity development M&E process can be among the most effective M&E processes. Okay, we're still continue. It can help to identify also capacity gaps. Like we have nutrition projects. You go to a nutrition site, you check the tally sheet, you check the registration book, a stock card, they are not matching, beneficiary referral slips, community referral slips. If these things are even the monthly report is not matching, this one will tell you that there is a gap with a particular staff. What you need to do is to train them so that they gain knowledge to effectively do their work. Program improvement. Through ongoing monitoring and evaluation, organizations can identify areas for improvement and make adjustments to their programs to ensure that they are meeting the needs of the communities they serve. Meeting the needs of the community they serve. We have in some locations whereby programs are just designed at country level and taken where to those particular locations. We found fishing nets taken to areas where there's no river, no pond, no what, meaning the project is not relevant in that particular area. But if you are to learn, you come to the ground and you get the right information, you'll be able to design projects that are relevant to the needs of the population that we are targeting. We also say for accountability purpose, M&E helps what? That it helps the organizations are accountable to their stakeholders, including funders, program participants, and the communities they serve by providing evidence of programs, impact and transparency in program management. M&E helps this. We have like, before we came to this location, there were high cases of malnutrition, but due to our interventions, we have given health education to the mothers. We have, others have provided food like in the GFD. So there is enough food in the community, and people are, the mothers, they know these breastfeeding, good breastfeeding practices. This one has helped reduce the number of malnutrition in the community. This one is now the impact. Learning and adaptation. By reflecting on program results, organizations can learn from their experiences, identify best practices, and make changes to their program based on feedback. The feedback from the community can help. We have gone to some schools whereby they tell us that this type of bag that you have procured for us do not last long. So next time when you are procuring, you bring, because there were two types, you bring for us this, the black one. It's long lasting, it's also good and durable. So this is the feedback from the community, and it's not only in one side, there were in so many places. So this one will help us as the organization to go and procure the one that they prefer to the community. And once we give them that one, they will be happy. And that feedback has helped us to do what? To identify what the best practice that we have done. We have sustainability. MIL helps organizations to design and implement programs that are sustainable over the long term by identifying factors that contribute to program success and sustainability, and addressing challenges that may impede program effectiveness. Like in WASH, we have places whereby we go, we tell the community about WASH, importance of having a latrine. If it is just verbally like this, they will not buy that idea, but we go and we dig latrines, we give them slabs, we tell them that any home that has given, that has constructed a latrine will have this amount of money, and it works. You find majority of the population, majority of people in that community will dig the latrines, and they will have slabs. Therefore, the community will have what? Latrines, because of the ways that we implement our project. We are in another session. Can we take a few questions?
Please, we have 10 minutes left, so you just finish up, and then after that, the questions you can take at the end. Can you hear me, William?
Yes. Oh, sorry, I was on mute, sorry.
Okay, I was saying you can proceed. You can just have the questions as a bunch at the end.
Okay. Preparation of M&E plan is an exercise to internalize what the log frame, identify internal indicators, and to set a reference document for the entire project or program objectives and results. This one, M&E plan, actually is just like a framework. It states the indicators, it states the definition of these indicators, okay? Because if they don't define the indicators, people on the ground will find it challenging on how to gather data on that particular indicator. This ideally, the definition of an indicator does not change during the project. However, if it changes due to changing context, both versions should be calculated and tracked. Let's go to the main M&E plan. Wow. Next slide. This one is blur. It's not seen. Nelson.
Yes. Before or after this?
No, this is fine, but my slides are, the phone is very little, and you can take that if you're using a computer.
Oh,
oh yeah.
Okay. Now, thank you so much again for the opportunity. Now, this is what we call log frame. So in the log frame, which is of course the M&E plan, first of all, you need to clearly define the goal of the intervention. And for instance, here, the goal is actually contribute to an increased protection and resilience of refugees and hosting community children and youth. So that is your goal. So that one is like a plan, and whatever data that you will have here, it has to relate to the goal. So now here you should have also objectives. The first column here you should have objectives, and then of course, yes, the objective, for instance, here, children, okay, the specific objective is children, youth, and families have improved access to basic child protection, education, and livelihood opportunities, minimizing their need to resort to negative coping strategies. So that is the whole thing about the objective. Now, what is the definition of the indicator? Like from there, you can see the first column, of course, will have the percentage. And that is the definition of the indicator, the percentage of vulnerable households that reports an improvement in their coping strategy index. See? So, and then we have the coping strategies itself, and then of course, I don't know this 80%, but of course would have the baseline and then the end line, and then would have also a source of data, and then the person who is responsible. So this is how the plan is supposed to be. But of course, what you need to understand is in M&E, we are dealing with different projects, and then each of the projects, of course, is planned accordingly. So this is a log frame of a project, and then we pick here as a sample, but of course we'll have simpler, more log frames for another project. So what you need to understand is the components. First of all, you should have the goal, you should have the objectives, and then you should have the indicators at all levels. So from here down here, like for instance, here you should be tracking the indicators. So at all levels. So after the goal, and then we would have outcome indicators, then you have output indicators, if it goes up to down. So you'll be tracking all these. So after the definition, you'll have the baseline figure. Remember back okay, in the explanation of evaluation, we talked of baseline and evaluation that you conduct before the intervention. So you need to understand, like, before the intervention, how is the situation like? And this is where you get the baseline figures and you put here, and then now you implement the project. And then after the project implementation, you'll have maybe a follow-up or the end-line data. So the end-line or the follow-up data, you analyze again as the baseline, then you'll be able to see clearly the result of your intervention by percentage. And this is the goodness of the M&E plan. So from here, you'll also know like who is reporting on this particular indicator, for instance, and where it is actually found. For instance, here, the sources of report, the sources of information, you'll have the reports, like you'll have the maybe monthly report, quarterly report, financial report, and so on. So all those things are included in the M&E plan. I don't know if we get it, we can proceed, and then can pick questions maybe later in case of any other. Okay, so we are almost to the end.
Yeah, we're actually at the end. So so like actually a big round of applause for you guys. You've done an amazing job. So over to you, participants. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and you can also type your questions in the chat box if you are in a place with a bad network. You can ask questions generally on the entire session or on the components that were just explained. let's just have 4 minutes for that, and we call it a day. Any questions? Ask these guys. Yes, Yeka.
Yes, please.
I think in the chat box, somebody's asking about objective and subjective data.
Okay.
And
So
we say subjective data is like something given on the viewpoint of someone else, while objective data is data that comes directly from the respondent. Thanks.
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
thank you so much. I want to appreciate the team. This is the latest actually mode of teaching. You have a co-teacher, you can teach and then leave that down. This is what we practice in education. I love that. But my concern is, my question is, I don't know whether it's a head topic or is a topic to come, that has been passed, but I've not seen. I asked about data analysis. What are those processes? And whether the sample that they can able to give us to do this practical data analysis in this M&E program. Thank you.
I think data analysis is actually a session of its own.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I remember this question. This one and our only lady in this program asks about that, where she's actually trying to ask about data analysis, talking about qualitative and quantitative. And I think William did mention that tomorrow that one will be tackled, and I think we'll fully participate in that.
He's asking about practical.
Yes, practical data analysis. Then I was also suggesting.
Yeah, he's asking go on. Sorry.
Okay. If you again the next session for tomorrow, if you're able to share up your material in advance is actually better in case of other inconvenience that happened to William, so that cannot cause that again. That gap is also very good. Thank you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Anybody else? Ojara is raising.
Yes, Ojara, please. But of course,
yes.
Yeka, session for data analysis, we will try to get a trainer, or we can engage William and Nelson for that to see if we can actually, because all of them are trained in data analysis. I know them.
Yes, Bida. This is Ojara. Thank you. So the explanation on the log frame, I was not satisfied. If they could do some clarification on that, even if not today, tomorrow, if we join a little bit early, and it could be better. Looking at the evaluation, we were looking at the part. Somebody asked a question on how, when you involve stakeholders, that you need to inform them about the budget of the project. Yes, you have to involve them. If you don't involve them, they will block you. They have no any influence on that area, as one of the person was trying to explain. Because when you do the comparison to other countries, sorry for mentioning this, Rwanda, any project, if you are implementing, because it is indicated in the government budget, for instance, if you are going to handle health in Eastern Equatoria, they will make sure that they will reduce the budget for Ministry of Health in Eastern Equatoria, and then they will add that one. Like, because NGOs, they are working on the behalf of the government. This one, what I wanted to add in that area for the influence of stakeholders on the budget. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ojara. That was a very excellent contribution. We sincerely appreciate, and of course, Well done for the insights. You have been very extremely helpful from the start of the session. That's the spirit actually that we should keep. Looks like there are no other questions. If there are no other questions, guys, thank you so much. We'll hit a stop.